it stops anything. But are you ready?
Yeah,
All right,
let's
cool.
go.
So I'm gonna do my little intro thing. So I'm gonna say, welcome to the Shippensburg University Chess Club podcast. I'm Nathan, and I have with me Aryan Joshi, president of the chess club at UMass Amherst. How you doing, Aryan?
Well, excited new year. We had a lovely internship with you over the summer, and now I'm ready to get going, grow chess, enjoy life. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I still can't believe that classes haven't started for you yet. I fully intended to come in here today and start talking about like, do you start having meetings yet? Like, how does this beginning of the semester go? But like, yeah, so I finished my first week. Um, but yeah, as you just said, we just had our internship together as the strategic partnerships interns at chess.com. That was super fun. And I guess we could start there. Um, I'm kind of interested in like because most people, I think a lot of people would be really interested to do an internship at chess.com. So like from like their perspective, like I think they would be interested to hear what the application process was like for us, and like how our interviews went and stuff. So could you talk a bit about like how you applied for it and how the interviews went and stuff like that, and how you're feeling about it?
Starcom offered two internships. One is the engineering one, one's like the strategic partnerships one. The partnerships one is a new one, the first time. So we both are like the first time interns, so that's pretty cool. But about the process, so mostly it was Joe who put up just sent the application to everyone on Discord in the ambassador chat. So being an ambassador did help all these information beforehand. So he just sent out the application. I filled it out, and I first got an interview with the engineering one, and then I met with who was the engineering HR. So then we had an interview that went pretty well. And then I rescheduled mine because that was an interview for the spring. I moved it for the summer. Um, and then I had my second interview later, but I ended up doing the strategic partnerships one, so I'll talk a bit more about that one. That application was actually sent pretty late. I filled it out, don't exactly remember when, but it was pretty late. Then I got an interview. So my first interview was with Austin, and Austin was pretty cool actually. I thought the interview was okay, to be honest. I did not expect much out of it. Yeah, I'll be honest. The interview with Austin was like it was good, but I did not feel so good about myself. It's like, okay, I should not expect anything. But okay, then I got a second interview call with Sebastian, and that was the interview. I was like, okay, you know what, this is possible. Something can happen over here. So my normally interviews are half an hour. I talked with Sebastian for like 2 hours, so it was actually pretty fun. He was telling me about his role. He was asking about me. I was we were able to talk about the internship itself and what like chess.com's vision is. So I feel like we really connected over there. And like he kept telling me during the interview like how good of a fit I would be in this role. So I was pretty motivated then. And then he told me, "Oh, okay, you have to do the interview last with my boss." I'm like, "Yo, he's actually the one who founded the Champions Chess Tour. If nobody knows, so I found that super cool when I realized that, and when he told me he has I have to interview with his boss, I'm like, yo, okay, this is pretty high level. So then I met with Grant. Grant's pretty nice. And throughout the internship, he's so supportive. But with him was he asked a pretty the box questions. He did not ask anything out of my resume. So that was pretty cool. I mean, that's expected from someone at such a high level. So
Yeah.
that went pretty good. And then I remember just at home, I was sitting, and then I just got the interview offer. I was like stoked. So pretty
Dude,
happy.
dude, yeah, that's crazy that you kind of like had that experience with okay, I don't even know where to start. Firstly, Grant is so awesome. Like, I remember yeah, I think like both of us had like very similar like interviews because like for me, yeah, it was like only 15 minutes long too with the last interview, and so it's always like just like more basic questions, like more general, like very kind of like easy to answer and stuff. But the thing is, with your interviews with like Austin and Sebastian, for me, it kind of flipped. Like, I like my first interview with Sebastian, I was so nervous, and I was just like, and I was like, it went okay. Like it was like not like I shouldn't expect anything. Like just like you said, like I was just like I was sitting here like shocked that you said the exact same like thing that I felt, but the other way around. And then like my interview with Austin was the one that I was like, okay, like I really connected, and like I really feel like we're on the same page, and like, oh man, that's
Turned out
crazy.
well, didn't it?
Yeah, it turned out well. Like so, yeah. So then, so for people listening, like Austin has like had like one intern that worked under him for the most part, and then Sebastian, the other person on the business development team, he had someone under him, an intern working for him, and so each one kind of like chose who they wanted. I guess I sort of, and so that's just funny that we had that the exact opposite experiences, but it still worked out. Um, and I would say for me, like I was definitely very nervous. Especially on the first one, especially when I went to Sebastian. Like I'm not too hard on myself because I was like but 2 hours is wild to be like for an interview. That yeah, I think at that point, like you know that like okay, yeah, I got the job. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I remember. I would also remember the moment that like the offer letter came through. I was like, oh my god! I was literally like jumping through the roofs. I was like, no freaking way! Like that's crazy. Ah man. So for your engineering one, your interview back in like January or December or something like that. Like so you, it sounds like you could have chosen to start like working as an engineering intern for the spring if you wanted to, or was it just like the first interview and like you didn't decide to try to get that internship, or can you explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, for me, it was like December, and I was just gonna head back home, and then I don't know, I I didn't feel like doing an internship. I have pretty like cool stuff lined up for both academics, like
Yeah.
job related, and um like just any everything related. I had pretty cool stuff lined up for the spring, so I didn't really want to tamper with that. And so I decided, okay, you know what? If there's an offer, like I did my first interview, and he said did pretty well. But I told him, okay, how about let's shift this for the summer, and they're like, okay, let's do that. And the internship was web development. Honestly, I did a project over like the spring semester on
Mhm.
web development to like prepare myself better for summer. I didn't really enjoy it, if I'm being honest. For me,
That's
yeah, for
funny.
me, like CS, I'm a CS major, so CS is a pretty wide field. So in that, like the software engineering and web development, those are things that don't appeal to me. I'm more interested in like the businessy and AI kind of stuff. So that's what appealing to me, and that's why I'm working on those kind of stuff.
Dude,
So that's why I just chose the partnerships one. It felt more aligned with my best.
yeah, that's so interesting. That's so interesting. But yeah, you actually bring a good point. How just like you like we do get pretty busy. Like I'm sure you know, like you get like you have so many things lined up. You get so busy. But that being said, you're still like the president of the chess club. You're still like holding events and stuff. Like I'd be interested to hear um, if you've ever had any issues with like work, life, school, club balance. You know, like it's not just like I feel like for us, it's not just like work life balance. It's like you add in like school and then also like club stuff. So like I feel like you know we're probably not the only ones that feel busy. So I wonder if you have any like thoughts on how to handle all that.
In my freshman year, I honestly didn't do much. I didn't take a job or anything. I was
Yeah.
just like doing my classes, and then I was like having fun, and I was just part of chess club. I was not on the e-board or anything. It was
Mm-hmm.
just part of chess club. Go there, have fun. So I'm a kind of person who likes to be busy and do
Mm-hmm.
like all kinds of stuff. So in my sophomore year, I ended up doing like 5 classes. This was to start with 5 classes, and I feel like CS for 5 classes of I was like 3 CS and like 2 Gen Eds. So like 3 C. and on top of that, I'm also a TA for a math class.
Mhm.
I'm also an RA, resident assistant, and then there's also chess club, and then there's also ambassador thing. So it was way too much stuff. Like it was a lot of stuff going on. So I think work-life balance in sophomore year was pretty poor, if I'm being honest. It was very poor. I was able to manage it towards the spring. I think in the fall I took 4 classes, and then I was able to get used to it. And then in spring I was able to take 5 classes, and then I was able to manage everything. But you don't get any like breathing space, which is something I did like. So I made it a point to like take 1 class less in my junior year and like focus more on everything else,
Yeah.
even like internships and projects and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, work-life balance, need to work on it.
Yeah, that okay. So yeah, that kind of also goes into why you decided not to do the internship in the spring because you're like, I don't know about this. Like, I just had like the craziest semester. Um, no, I kind of in a similar boat. I think I mean I was like I also like to be very busy. So I've had like times where like because I'm actually the president like of table tennis club too. I've had times on like a Friday, for example, I'll have like I used to work at Starbucks. So I wake up at like 4 a.m. work like a 5 a.m. to 9, then go to class, then I have table tennis club, then have chess club, and then I do more stuff and then like it's just so like you said no breathing space and so I think everyone just has to find like their own kind of like balance because like we like being busy but I think we both reached a point where we were too busy so but I think you should definitely like push yourself like I would like if I was like talking to someone who was I don't know was like entering college or something like that or like I would say like you should push yourself and like find what your limit is and then go from there. But I think we both found our limits.
Like people like look when you enter college, people just look around them and they see like everyone's doing like something else, and then they feel the pressure themselves to like do more and more. But like at the end of the day, like I feel like it's very, very, very like cliche, but then like you're having your own race. I feel you'll be the most happiest when you make progress within yourself and not like compare yourself to like 5 different individuals who are doing 5 different things and then you want to do all those 5 things. It's not gonna help you mentally, physically, psychologically anyway.
Yeah, that's true. FOMO is real. You know, like the fear of missing out. Like that's definitely a real thing. So you got to be careful of that. But yeah, just follow your passion, do what your passion, but don't go too far. You know, it's like so I don't know. Life is tough, but I just so but yeah, thank you for your answer. That was very I think that was very insightful because I definitely feel like we're not the only ones. Um, But I guess to shift gears a little bit, um, I know a bit about it, but like I just think it would be interesting for people to hear like what your chess origin story is, and like a bit more about like how you got what you like about the game, why are you in it now, like what is your chess origin story?
Like any other kid, I was taught by my dad. My dad taught me chess. Didn't think much of it, and then like when I was like in 7th grade or 6th grade, I used to go for these chess classes over the summer. Nothing much. All they did is they taught us Italian opening, and they used to make us play against each other. Nothing like serious. And there used to be this one like tournament, not rated at all. It just used to go there, play like once a year, and that's all my chess was till like a junior year of high school, and then COVID hit, and I'm okay. You know what? Let me try chess online, and for some reason, like oh, I've never studied chess, but chess came very natural to me in terms of like intuition and playing. So I was able to like I started on Lee chess first. I was able to hit 2000 there within a month, and I was like pretty impressed with myself.
Damn.
2000 Lee chess is like what 1500chess.com, I
Yes,
would
something
say.
like that. Yeah.
Something like that, I would say. I feel like that's a pretty good for like a person who hasn't played much. I think from there, but always found joy less in playing, but more in like spreading chess. So
Mhm.
somewhere around like in like high school, but I did my high school in India. So over there, we don't have these kind of like clubs and that kind of stuff. So I actually went out to spawned the first ever club of the entire school. So we went there, and obviously, since it's the first ever club of the school, it won't be like the biggest hit. It was like once a week, we used to get this free lesson for 45 minutes on Wednesday. Over there, if people wanted to play chess, we could,
Yeah.
and that's about it. That was it. So, in a way, like, and I did advance in my chess. I started playing on chess.com. Now, I hit like 2000 rapid very recently.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I'm not playing good either way. But yeah, my chess right now is horrible. But I think yeah, it was like a there was a dream of mine. Okay, you know what? I want to go to university and I want to spread chess. So when I came to UMass, the scenes are pretty similar. Like for such a large university, there are barely like 8 people who used to come. Now this was my freshman year. 8 people used to come to club, and that's about it. Used to play chess and go. I don't know. Then I took it on me. I organized a blitz tournament. We had 70 people show up, and it was pretty good marketing over a couple of weeks, or a couple of days rather. So we had 70 people show up. I took over the club. Then first thing is we did, and then the college ambassador program came in, and then from there we took off. So then we had Antonio's Pizza event. We had bi-weekly Monday night blitz and rapid tournaments. We had, and now we're like expanding on. We're merch. We're thinking we're having USCF tournaments, FIDE tournaments, more to build on that.
Yeah, there is. Okay, yeah, there's so much things to unpack there. So I don't even know where to start. I think we're kind of similar. Like, oh yeah, it's like yeah, like I think pretty early on in getting to know you, I'm like, well, like holy, like actually, like we line up like actually kind of crazy. I remember like the first time we played a blitz game against each other, our ratings were like 5 points away. Like I also hit 2000 rapid over the summer, and it's like just like what? I also started playing chess in my junior year of high school. Um,
Oh,
like it's actually scary. It's like it's actually scary. My dad also taught me how to play. I I was never good though. Like I remember in eighth grade getting fools mated. Just checkmated in two. And until my junior year of high school where I got serious. It did not take me a month to get to 2000 lead chess, and I also started using lead chess first. I think I started at around like 1000 lead chess, and then I slowly made my way to 2000 over the course of maybe a few. I don't know how long it took me, but then I also moved over to chess.com like eventually after I don't know a year or 2 years or something like that. So like I said, like the overlap is sort of crazy. But yeah, so I don't even know where to start. Okay, firstly, yeah, I remember you talked about Antonio's Pizza a little bit on like the college chess podcast with the college growth managers. But I would love to hear and the Blitz tournament. So those two things. So I guess for Antonio's Pizza first, you mentioned that Mauricio helped with coordinating with it. Are there any more details you could give about that? Like, what does that mean? Does he like communicate directly with the people? Are you involved with that? Like, how does that work?
honestly, somewhere starting of the semester, I told him, yo, we should do some kind of off-campus event. So then he and I first started brainstorming what kind of like places do we want. So honestly, UMass Amherst is a pretty small town, pretty boring if I'm being honest. It's not as like a New York or like LA, so there's very limited options. So we had to like we narrowed down to 3 potential options. There was a McMurphy's bar, so it was like a proper bar. There was Antonio's Pizza, and then there's Insomnia Cookies. Insomnia Cookies was too small, and we didn't feel like anything could happen from it, so we just eliminated that straight away. So it was down to bar and Antonio's. He wanted to do the bar one. I wanted to do Antonio's. I told him Antonio's will be a better turnout because more people, a lot of people like Antonio's. Also, I'm not 21, and a lot of people in college are not 21, so that might be an issue. So we went with Antonio. So then he reached out to Antonio's, and since chess.com was mostly like sponsoring everything, like the pizza, the event, mostly a lot of it. So I think that was pretty smooth. So it was through like one meeting and an email chain. We got it done pretty easily. So it was just back and forth emails. And then I think we did it in October, first week of October. So mostly the event was like we kept tables outside Antonio's. We had chess sets, which we got from UMass. And then people would play chess, bug house, all that kind of stuff. And then there was also some deals on the pizza and sodas. And then we also had merch, which obviously, thank you, chess.com. Thank you, Joe, Marshall, Max, for all these cool merch. But yeah, we just set up a table, people would join. It was pretty fun. Like for a couple of hours, had a lot of fun.
Yeah, like that's actually a really interesting thing. So it's a lot of collaboration. Like, yeah, you work very closely with Mauricio to do this, and so yeah, because when you were talking about it on the College Chess podcast, I was just like, wait, like you gotta talk more. Like I want to know, I want like more know. Like yeah, so that was really interesting how it was like it's not very complicated, but it does take some brainstorming, some like some more creative work, kind of just like our strategic partnerships internship. Like that sounds like that's I was like the predecessor to like what we were doing at like chess.com anyways. It's kind of interesting hearing you talk about it. Um, so yeah, no, that's super cool. And then for your blitz tournament, I'm kind of interested in how you chose because with a turnout that big, that's super awesome. I mean, you guys are a pretty like a bigger university, but I can relate to you about being in the middle of nowhere. Shippensburg, Pennsylvania is also in the middle of nowhere. There is like nothing around. I'm so impressed you guys have in insomnia cookies. Like that's awesome. We don't even have that. But I am interested in hearing the were you did you strategically choose the location and the time to try to like get the most amount of people?
We like most universities. I think your university, you guys meet only once on Friday, right?
Yeah, we only meet
Okay.
once on Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually, before I joined also, we used to have club meetings twice a week for 3 hours. So there's a total of six potential hours in the week for chess club. So it was like Mondays and Thursday, and it was very strategically formed. Why is to Mondays and Thursdays? So let's say you have your weekend, okay? You're coming back to
Mm-hmm.
classes. If you love chess, the if clubs on Monday, the first thing is that on Monday you have chess club. There's something you look forward to. And then you have Tuesdays, Wednesdays where like maybe a lot of people like myself also, you have a lot of classes during that time. And then Thursdays is more in over here at least. I'm not sure like other university. Thursdays night is always like a wrapping up kind of for the
Okay.
week because a lot of people over here just do not take Friday classes. I've never
Oh,
seen like
okay.
most people, yeah, don't take Friday classes. So that's people just want long weekends, and a lot of majors just don't keep class on. I do have classes on Friday, but it's like very limited in the morning and get done with it. So Thursday is more like a wrap wrap up for the week, and then Fridays, anyways, people like have like to do on Friday nights. Also, because UMass is kind of like a party school. I'm not saying people in chess club go to parties, but still, people do have fun. They go outside, they do kind of stuff. So Mondays and Thursdays strategically sounds good because it's also like a good amount of space from each other, and also you get the weekend to yourself. So that's about the time and place. We do it in Blue Wall, which is our that's our normal meetings, which is our like
Mhm.
I think what do you call it? Food food court. So I think I like that location because it's we have our meetings from 6 to 9 on Mondays and Thursdays. So it comes through dinner time for most people. So you're able to just go easy access to food, and then you're also able to play chess and talk with people. And there's also like long tables where you're able to like spread out. And it's pretty well established that okay, that space at that time of the week is like for chess club. No one really like goes over there. Um, so that's why I've always liked that location. And time always like I keep it in the evening because during the day people have classes and they're busy. The last class I know ends at 6:45. So I kept it around like 7ish the tournament. So if there's anyone who has classes, there's no like so if you're busy, but there's no one who has any conflict with classes. So that was the idea behind that.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I'm kind of curious. How did you whatchamacallit? Did you do pairings on some sort of like online software like I think there's like Challenge is one that people use for tournaments. Like what how did you do pairings and stuff?
I started with, okay, so the first tournament ever, I did manually with my hand, which is the dumbest thing ever. It took a lot of work, but it worked out well. I don't know how I was able to do it. I literally used an Excel spreadsheet and did it because I did not know about any softwares. And then I think there's this one software, SwissTournaments.org. I think most universities use it, so I just ended up using that.
Okay, that's so funny they did it by hand. There is this local like high school chess club or high school chess club league. They have an individual tournament for all the high schoolers. It's like non USCF rated, so it's kind of interesting. But I know that they also do everything by hand. They don't do an Excel sheet though. They do it with flashcards, and it's like, and it's so interesting going to the back and like watching them like maneuver, like because they know how like whatchamacallit, the Swiss system works. So like they just they do it, but they do it by hand, which is like ridiculous to
Oh,
me. I
that's
could that
ridiculous.
yeah, that sounds like a headache.
I
Um,
feel like you can manage the scores, but you don't remember who had which color and how many rounds.
well, they
So
have to note it on the flashcard. They're like,
that's too much work in my opinion.
yeah, definitely automatically. Okay, so you said it was Swissis, right? It was the one. Yeah, okay. I've heard of that too. That makes sense. But what you said about the meeting times, that makes a lot of sense too. I my chess club here at Shippensburg, we always meet at 3:30 on Fridays, and that's always how like I. It's been like that before I came here. It's been like that since like 2010. So like, so I haven't touched that. Um,
I think
so
3:30s
but
on Fridays is a pretty
yeah,
good time because people on Friday afternoons they don't have much to do, I'll be
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
So that's a
but
good
but
time.
then but then people who still want to like party. Also, I feel like everyone says every university is a party school except for like Ivy League. like I feel like every school's a party school because people say the same thing about Shippensburg. Like every school is, um, but people can still party. If it's like in the evenings. But like probably like I would guess like maybe half of people don't have Friday classes and like and I would say we have a pretty big commuter population. So, so that combination of things, I think it does kind of hinder us. So I do kind of like Thursday evenings. Kind of deals with. I feel like some people would prefer to go to like a Monday or a Thursday meeting. So I think it is pretty strategic. I think that makes a lot of sense. Um, so I definitely have heard from other club members at my club that like they would like us like a secondary meeting, but I've never been
Mm.
like I don't know if I can do it. Like
Yeah,
like I don't know if it's like if but it's definitely something to look into for sure. I remember.
someone has a class. Yeah,
Oh no, you go.
if someone has a class on Friday at 3:30, that means they can't go to chess club at all. So you should definitely like have two options. It could be different time, different days. Like at least if I have a class on 3:30 on Fridays, but I really want to go to chess club, how do I go about that?
Yeah, it's okay. Well, actually, that's the specific part about our university is that the last class on Fridays is at 2. So there's no classes after 2 p.m. on Fridays.
Oh,
So it is actually a bit
oh,
strategic from that point. Yeah. It's a little bit that the people, 13 years ago, they did they did figure that out. Actually, do you know when UMass Chess Club started? Because I know it started before you. Yeah.
it definitely started before me, but I'm pretty sure it was not even 5 years. I'm not
Okay.
even, I don't even
Okay.
think 2014, 15 is, I think maybe that,
Okay,
I
yeah,
think.
that makes sense. Yeah, I know for me, like, the advisor of the club has been the same throughout its entire existence. So I can always ask him, and like he knows. I think it was 2009 or 2010. So I'm very lucky that like I have this is like a legacy, like it's existed for a long time. So, um, but then you have things like meetings where it's like if it was a new club, we'd probably be more open to starting a new meeting time. But like for me, I'm like, oh, like I don't know, I don't want to touch that. But yeah, I think an additional meeting shouldn't be too hard to do, or it won't be too hard to do. Um, but no, it is pretty interesting. I know you mentioned starting USCF tournaments, anything, and I remember you texting the ambassador chat about that. What any news up there, or have you been in contact with the with the officers of the club lately or over the summer?
So yesterday, we had our like club meeting, and it was like 10 people. So it was pretty. I actually did it yesterday, so it was not the most productive meeting, but so yeah, mostly throughout the meeting, we had like a lot of pointers that we wanted to go through. Rather pointers I went through, and then we discussed every pointer line by line, and then if anyone had any kind of additional pointers they want to bring up or different kind of things to bring up, like we'll discuss. And what do you think the general consensus is? Like the main topic we tackled is our merchandise which are about to launch. So we're talking about that. We're talking about USCF tournaments, tabling, club fair day, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, medians. Wait, so are you said there was like 10 people in the executive board? Okay, okay, I gotta get the goods on this. Okay, 10 people is a lot from my perspective. I have four. It's me, the president, the vice president, secretary, and treasurer. So I'm kind of interested to hear about your executive board.
Last fall, this was the exact same treasurer, president, vice president, secretary. I was the secretary, I was the president, and there's the vice president was someone who never showed up to the meetings, and the treasurer was someone who was like an old friend of our old president. It was this part. So technically, last fall, chess club was just me. I was handling chess club all by myself. So I felt like towards when I was getting into the spring, okay, you know what, we should get more people on the e-board, and we went to like three or four, and then I don't know, I'm the kind of person who likes to, if there's someone who's passionate about chess and really wants to grow chess, should be given an opportunity to do so. So if for me, having a large executive board, I mean, it's also a large university, so it does help,
Yeah,
but having a large executive board, you're able to do more events, you're able to be more efficient, you're able to get more brain, like more ideas. So and yeah, you're just able to do way more and more than you thought you could, because there's so much one person can do, right? Or two
yeah,
three people can do. And if everyone's given an opportunity, there's like women in chess is a very important like kind of topic. Women's they don't We don't have like women representation that much in chess, and that's something we want to change. So we have that's a topic we are definitely discussing. If you want to have a USCF tournament, there's no freaking way I can do that by myself. I need some manpower. I need some help. So having a large e-board does help. And if there's the same vision, there's the same passion, I'm pretty sure like it'll help in the long run.
yeah. I definitely do have a couple people in mind that I think like they're pretty passionate, and I think they could make good officer position, good officers. I definitely have not gone the one step further, like making a position for them. So I'm kind of interested in like, did you come up with the names of them? And can you run through a list to get people like for me and for other people to hear of like maybe get their brain going on for
We
brainstorming.
have we have 10 people. So the number one person is at top. You have the president. That's just me. Then we have two vice presidents. So we have just two vice presidents. Then we have two event coordinators. We have two logistic managers. Logistic managers mostly like will event coordinator is pretty explanatory. Vice president will oversee mostly everything. So will the president. Logistic managers are mostly like if like let's say we have CCL this fall, right? Damn, I have to fill out the teams, but if we have like, so there'll be like, I think UMass is planning at least four teams, maybe five. We're thinking between that. So four or five teams. I can't oversee all five teams, so and I may not even play if I'm being honest. Depends on the balance of each team. If I need it, I'll play, but I cannot oversee five teams. So logistic managers will also serve as a captain for their team, and they also can look like if one team wants to reschedule with another date. So that kind of stuff. Then if we have any kind of events, just the logistics of it. These are also just titles at the end of the day. All 10 people get an equal like say in all the kind of all the events. Everyone like is open to say. These are just titles made so that people like to get a title they like. Other than that, we have one social media and outreach. Social media is very important for clubs, so that kind of that's there. And then, did I name? I think I named. There's obviously one treasurer, so that's nine, which we have. And then the last one is a community engagement officer. So we need to get more people. You need to look at social media, like our online presence and the in-person presence. So online presence is through social media and outreach, but in person, like managing tabling, like over here we have tabling where you can just set up a table and you can just set up chess club and then people can come by, and this can be Monday through Friday 10 to 4. Just set up a table, people by, you can make them join their club. So over the studies, how to get more people to join chess, even if they're like people who don't enjoy chess, may show up like 3 4 times a whole year. How to get those passive engagers like come to chess club maybe more and more, and just get them to like chess. That's the role for the
Yeah.
community engagement officer. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When you were talking about the CCL, the Collegiate Chess League, and like talking about having like I can't manage 5 teams. Like, yeah, I kind of feel that like last semester we participated in the CCL for the first time. We only had one team. This year, this semester, like I also have to get everyone to fill out all the forms and stuff too. But like we're probably gonna have closer to 3 teams, maybe 4.
Right.
And honestly, I'm like intimidated. I'm like, oh man, there's gonna be like so many files and papers, and like I gotta tell people to sign things, and like I gotta make sure everyone's on the same page. So honestly, I was like, oh man, logistics manager does sound pretty nice. Yeah, that does sound pretty nice. I think the a potential downside of like a big e-board like that is that also I just realized that e-board meant executive board. I Whenever someone said e-board, I always thought like it meant like electronic like e-board. I definitely never realized it was executive. That makes so much more sense now. It's like that's crazy. Anyway, um, but a potential downside is that it might be hard to get everyone on the same page or make sure information is dispersed like adequately. So I'm kind of curious, like how often do you have meetings with just the e-board? Usually, I guess.
So yesterday was the first time we ever met as a group of 10 because semester hasn't
Oh.
started. Yeah, semester hasn't started, and like it was just like okay, come by, meet everyone, let's discuss everything, and then I got pizza for everyone. So yeah, so it was mostly how to get people on the same page. I don't know, like I feel like in chess club, just like every time I go to, I hate this honestly, but whenever I go to chess club, everybody regards me as chess club. Like he is our chess club. So I don't like that personally, but it's okay. It's fine. I feel like everyone like understands what vision I want, but I also don't want to just do what I want. I want like I let everyone have a say in whatever they want. If they feel like if I came up with a dumb idea, it's like for example, we're selling 2 different hoodies, and they're actually being like we're buying it at different prices. The like one is more expensive than the other, and I was always gonna sell it mostly like more or less about the same. But then I realized my e-board just told me how dumb it is and how we should just like sell it at a same price. So I one is given the like opportunity to tell what they want. I'm I like to come up with different creative ideas, so that's where this thing. But if people get ideas, they shoot it, and then we all discuss about it. So that's why I said like president, vice president, logistic managers. These are all just titles at the end of the day. All 10 of us are just equal people, and we all can like. True, I do have more like say, not say, but I have more like power and like the actual like deciding what this thing. But I feel like we're all 10 different people. We all are 10 equals, and we all get to decide, okay, this is good, this is not good, this is good. And in doing that, I feel like you end up on the same page. Sometimes you may not, and then that's where you have a meeting, discuss. But mostly like how you end up on the same page. It's like there's one big group on iMessage, and then you divide. This is something I'm yet to do, but you divide, make smaller groups where people are assigned different kind of areas. So, like a logistics manager president would be on a group for just CCL and managing all the different files and everything. So that's one group you could make. So all that you
Yeah.
make different kind of subgroups, and then that's how you come together. That's I've not done it. I'm just saying this is how I plan it to be.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I cannot tell you how much I relate to that. Just like like people associate me with like the chess club and having all the answers and stuff, and I want like the other people on the executive board to be like to know just as much as me and to be able to do everything I do. Like I don't want all the power to be in my hands. I know like I get that. I know exactly what you mean. I will say, like one thing after our internship that I have like that's like opened my eyes, and also in my my podcast interview with Mauricio, he also mentioned this how Discord is actually such a good tool. And I've been going like super deep into Discord, and like I've been telling everyone like Discord is my preferred method of communication because of just like the search function, because it's just like Slack. It is literally Slack. It is like it's just Slack. So Marisa kind of opened up my eyes to that, and then after working at chess.com, who like we use Slack like all the time. Like I'm just like I'm so big on it now for like communication and stuff like that. And I've just started making different like um, different private chats or like chats where only some people can speak and stuff like that, to try to like organize workflows, I guess if we were to use business terms. like so I can definitely relate to that, and it's definitely tough. Um, like one thing that I want to do more is just have more in-person meetings. But like when you have a bunch of college students with different schedules, we already make time for chess club. Like it's can get kind of tough. So like, but definitely I like ideally I would want like a meeting every week in person with the whole e-board and stuff like that. Um, but it can definitely be
Mostly
tough.
us, yeah, that does kind of get difficult coordinating 10 people's different schedules. Like, this is before the semester started, when it's gonna be hard. So, I mostly told them that we're gonna do both. We're all gonna meet in chess club anyways. In our chess club is not like just one. We have 3 hours on 2 different days, and obviously it's not required for everyone to come on every single day. But we meet through chess club, so we can always talk over there. But if there's something like some kind of big event, like if we end up doing another Antonio's SQ event. So then you have a big meeting. Okay, we'll talk about it. If you're gonna before a USCF tournament, you need to have that meeting. Where I think through chess club itself, me and the in-person meetings, and then you can do Discord, iMessage, WhatsApp. We're still deciding on which method we want, but I think constant communication on both ends is. I think that's good enough for us at least.
Yeah. You're probably right on that. And then I guess to circle back to tournaments, do you have anything confirmed that you can tell anyone, or is it just mostly still in the planning phases? Do you plan to hold anything in the fall semester in terms of like USCF tournaments that are open to like students or students from like other universities? Can you say anything about that now?
So, it will not be in the fall semester. So I connected with first Mauricio, and then he connected me with Judith, who's like the director of Chess Club Relations at chess.com. So they told me about like different how to like go about a USCF and FIDE tournament, and then I delved in, and then there's a lot of things to do, which I think my large e-board will help out with. But so then I reached out to UMass, and like we want to do it on UMass campus. So we have two potential areas where if we're looking at an audience of at least 100 people, that's where we're going to market it over a couple of months and make sure like we're going to try and get 100 people. It'll be difficult, but I'm pretty sure we can get there. Um, so they gave us 2 dates. One March 2nd and 3rd weekend, and the other date was Patriots Day weekend. Are you familiar with Patriots Day? I heard it's only in Massachusetts. I don't know either, but
Wait, what? Yeah, I don't know.
exactly. I did not know that either. So I thought Patriots Day. So we in
Wait, hold
Massachusetts.
up. Wait,
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt. Wait, my roommate is. Wait, let me see. 1 second.
yeah, of course.
Are you okay? Yeah. Is it urgent? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Oh, unexpected interruption. That was just my roommate.
That's perfectly
But
fine. Yeah.
but but no, you were talking about scheduling, and there was two separate dates, and one of them was like a Tuesday or something.
No, no, no. So the
Or
so there's one March and second, third weekend. We
uh,
I when I was deciding, I kind of did that weekend because if you do look into other universities, and that's March beginning is always like a midterm kind of season for a
oh
lot of
yeah.
universities. So I was like, you know what? I don't think many people will show up, and my own school will be busy. So it's okay. I eliminate. So we had one weekend left. In Massachusetts, there's a holiday called Patriots Day weekend, which I didn't know it was the only Massachusetts thing. So it honestly know what's the holiday about. Neither do my neither does my e-board who all live in Massachusetts. They don't know either, but we get a long weekend for that, a nice
Oh okay.
4 day long weekend for that. So we were thinking of that. That date's open. So we were thinking it's a weekend. So that's not so we were thinking of a 2 day tournament over Saturday, Sunday. First year classical, it might turn into rapid, but we're not sure. But I can guarantee you there will be some tournament in April. In those dates, it'll either be a classical, but it will be rated, and I can guarantee you there'll also be large prize funds.
Wait. So what were the dates in April again? It was.
I think it was April 13th and 14th.
Got it. Okay, cool. That's super interesting. So they gave you two dates to choose from. So does that mean they're providing the tournament directors for you in some sort of capacity, or?
This is just purely UMass giving us a
Oh,
venue. This is just
oh,
for tournament directors and everything. We have to search for it on our own. So our first step is getting the venue. So I filled out the form pretty long ago. I've followed up, but I think they're pretty busy with the fall events right now. So they'll get back to me in a week or so. But I think we're mostly confirmed that space, and then you have to get look for a tournament director. Then you have to there's other expenses also, which amounts up to like $400-500, I think, just for like FIDE tournaments. The USCF tournament is not the hardest thing in the world, but if you do a FIDE tournament,
yeah, no,
that
that
gets a
sounds tough because yeah, there's only very limited amount of FIDE arbiters and a lot more rules and regulation stuff. So
but our aim is to keep both FIDE and USCF. We want to hit at a wide range of people where you're targeting college students, you're targeting kids in nearby, and we're going to start this also where we start workshops with nearby high schools to get them to play chess, maybe come by UMass once, play chess, at least play in our tournaments, that kind of stuff. We're looking to do that kind of stuff also, but yeah, mostly trying to hit a large audience.
I never really thought about that the April date as being particularly good. I thought like yeah, like I when I was thinking about like looking ahead, I'm like, oh yeah, March that'd be a great time to hold an event. But I actually don't know when like most I guess March is when my spring break my university spring break is. I guess midterms do kind of sort of go around sometime then. So I think I should kind of double check the schedule and probably ask other people when the midterms are because I think I was planning to hold an event in March, but maybe that won't be the best time. Uh,
Yeah, March
uh,
does get pretty busy, and I know for a fact that the UMass, like people were explaining to me that at most universities, if you want to do like big events, April is your time to go because April, March, you enter. So spring break is mostly in March, and like March end for most schools. It could be middle, but people want to finish. Like universities have their midterms before that, and maybe just after that. So it's kind of
right.
like in March. If you're gonna, and then somewhere in like first week of April, the midterms are done. So and finals for us is like pretty late in May. So somewhere between mid-April or starting of April to like end of April is your best time to like do an event. So that was like the planning, and that's what we're
Yeah.
going for.
Yeah, it sounds like perfectly Good thought process to me. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I do love what you mentioned about working with the high schools, doing workshops. That's so cool. I've been trying to brainstorm how I can get in touch with the local high schools because I know because I did mention that there's like the local high school chess league, and they have a whole season from like October to March. Um, and I am going to be with them. I am going to join the high school chess club advisors in their like opening meeting when they start making the schedule in October. And so I'm trying to brainstorm different ways on like on how I could on how what the university can do to kind of like get involved because I think that's pretty underrated. Like when like I don't hear that many people talking about like what they're doing to connect with the community and with the local high schools. Um, and I would love to do more like volunteering for local elementary schools. I know the advisor of the chess club. He's been volunteering at the elementary school. It's kind of my our university is kind of weird. We have an on campus elementary school. It's like because yeah our university is like very focused. It was originally like a normal school back in the 1800s where they taught teachers how to teach. So it's like the teaching goes early education is like a really deep part of the university and everything. So we have an on-campus elementary school, and he's been volunteering there for like years and years. And so I would love to like expand that and like and of course get in with the high schoolers. And then apparently the Shippensburg Middle School just started their chess club, and like so I think I would like so workshop sounds like kind of like an easy way to do that. Maybe you have like a lecture once a month or something like that, or like I
I
love
would
that idea.
thinking of many ideas. So first thing we're thinking for on campus, we're thinking of doing like chess lectures. So at two levels, like advanced level where a title player could come and like teach. We already have, like a few title players in our like club, so it's they can maybe help. And then there's also like chess lectures, like the beginner, absolute like level if you're like below 800 on set somewhere around there, like you want to improve your game but you don't know how and you don't have that much time, you just want to improve, get better, go to a chess club, whack some your friend at chess. So like those are the kind of lectures we're focusing at. And then if you go to high school, maybe once a week go to a high school, just get them involved in chess, maybe get them to play each other, teach them a little bit how to analyze your games, how to get better. And then you connect on schools with middle schools, elementary schools, because chess is a kids game at the end of the day. Most most players who come out really good are kids who like are people who like played chess as kids. So I think
Yeah.
targeting those younger audiences is very important in chess.
Yeah, I think it's such an interesting like avenue that I feel like most college ambassadors haven't been talking about. And for Shippensburg, it's actually a bit even more like whatchamacallit relevant because a lot of the students that go to Shippensburg are from Pennsylvania and a lot of them are commuters too. So it's very possible that someone that we like a high school that we go to and we teach them chess. Like it's very possible that they'll go to the university to Shippensburg University. Like
Yeah,
it's a very big possibility. And and yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. I know one idea that I had is having a bug house tournament. Like we've never held a bug house tournament, but I think like okay, well, how can I bring the high schoolers in and make something unique and fun and interesting because they already have their own high school chess league tournaments. So maybe we just do a bug house tournament instead, and have snacks and food and have it be more like a networking type of event where you learn more about other schools and the college, but then also you just have fun and play bug house. Like I think that might be it's doing fun stuff like you
that's a very
said.
good.
Yeah. So I think I'm super excited for the stuff that we have lined up. Okay. Also, it's been crazy, but we've been talking for almost 55 minutes. Or maybe like 5 of those minutes were like me troubleshooting, like trying to figure out like how to get this started. But needless to say, we've been talking for a while. So I gotta ask, What you are you going to Pan-Ams? Like I know we talked about that before.
Yeah. So I cannot say yes as of now. So right now we don't have much funding for getting finance, but I'm gonna talk to the university and try to get something done. Our goal is to get one team out to finance in
Okay.
January. So we're
Okay.
definitely that is one thing definitely we're aiming at. If like maybe in a month I can answer that for sure, but as of now I'm like not sure honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think I've already mentioned to you that that my team is carpooling down there 26 hours to go get to McAllen, Texas. And I hope you're successful in getting funding. I know for us, like I'm just letting them know super early in advance. Like I'm just saving. I'm just saving money. Like so, I think we got two Airbnb houses for a pretty good deal because we did it back in in March, since we found out where it was going to be in McAllen, Texas. So uh, I think lodging for we're going to be leaving January 2nd and coming back January 11th or something like that. And so it's going to be lodging is going to be like $250 for that entire span, roughly. And so that's for 11 days. I don't know if that's 11 days or not. Seven, nine, oh, maybe like 9 days. Bad math.
Very good.
Like that's not bad for 250, and then the rest of that money will just be gas and food. We have to add on to that. And so I'm just letting my club know, like literally the first week we met this past Friday, and I'm just letting them know, just like, okay, like guys, like this is how much it costs. Like it's gonna be a really big event. It's the first time we're ever going, and we're basically I'm going. My a friend of mine, someone else in the club, he already saved up the money for it over the summer because I talked about it for so far in advance. And I think we'll at least have one team, and luckily one of the Airbnb houses we can cancel for free. So if we don't need it. So I'm also pretty confident that we're gonna go. Well, I'm pretty confident we are. You said there's you hope to. I hope to see you there. That would be a crazy crossover event. That gotta be like our part two. Like if we don't do another one, like we gotta do like an in person part two
Or
podcast
two, yeah, for
because
sure.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Um, but yeah, I guess we'll end it off. Where can people find you and the UMass Amherst stuff, the social media, like anything you want to plug?
It's best to reach us at UMass Chess Club on Instagram. That's our best page right now. And I think as we realized yesterday, our social media presence is not the best. But if you ever shoot us at UMass Chess Club on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm actually, to be honest, I'm a bit surprised that you only have one person for social media because I feel like there's always something to do with social media. There's always something to do. Like that's one thing I've learned this past year.
Yeah,
That there's never so. But yeah, social media is always tough to get. It's ongoing, of course. So it's always tough to get a handle on. But yeah, same thing for my club, Instagram, ShipChess. I think you can't see this, Aryan, but the stream can see it. Yeah, right above me. But yeah, thank you for getting on. I feel like time just flies talking with you.
it was pretty fun talking. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, you're famous now. You got two podcasts now. Yeah, you gotta get the three. You gotta get the three. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. I guess I'll end it here. Thank you guys.